Ahoy there, interlocutors. I posted a video, a few days ago, in which I theorized that, I stated pretty unequivocally that I believed that this rotor, due to this rust pitting that was deep inside of it, had caused the brake pads on this side to wear faster than this side. And it had nothing to do with my slides or my brake hoses or my calipers or anything like that. I thought that that was a pretty reasonable conclusion, but a lot of people in the comments thought that was not what had happened. That was impossible, essentially. That it was definitely my slides or that my caliper was about to go out. I took the car on a 20-minute drive right away after doing this, and one caliper did not feel hotter than the other. And since then, it's been on the road for about a month now, because these have just been sitting in my scrap pile, and it occurred to me I could talk about it. Well, luckily, they were still sitting in my scrap pile, and I pulled them back out. So let's see if I can, I don't know, prove myself right or wrong. I wouldn't be that smart of a guy if I didn't believe I could never be wrong. I'm going to take a flap wheel and I'm going to dig into this material a little bit and try peeling this away and see if we can see how deep the rust pitting has gotten into the steel here. Because rust doesn't just sit on the surface of something, it goes into it. And a rotor like this is almost always, unless you've got like a race car or you're buying real high-end rotors, it's going to be a cast iron piece. So this is a cast piece. You form a mold and you pour into it, and then it's put under pressure in order to toughen it and try and get some of the porosity and stuff like that out of it. So it's not like your cast iron, cooking pan, but it is still a cast iron piece. And that means that you end up with layers and you do end up with holes. This rotor is not, it's not impossible for anything to penetrate into it, right? And the rust is something that can penetrate into it. So I can feel with my finger just how much smoother this is, and I can feel how much rougher and coarser this is right here. And these are the two areas that were contacting pad material. You can see out here that it actually hit backing plate, but in here it was still contacting pad material. And here it was contacting pad material as well. This had formed a groove in the pad, worn away pad material, but because that groove had occurred, you were getting contact here and here. And I should clarify also, these are rear rotors. So they were only taking, roughly 20% of your average braking occurrence was being translated to these brakes. The most of it goes to your front. So these weren't taking nearly as much of the wear either, which is one of the reasons why, even though you have this amount of rust corrosion on here, it can live like that for a lot longer than it could on a front rotor, because your front rotors do so much more of the braking. So let's get a flap wheel out and let's dig down into this and let's see how deep this goes, because I theorize it's going to go deep, but hey, I'm willing to be proven wrong. All right, I tried to grind about the same amount of time on each one, and I actually ended up grinding longer on this one. So this is ground further down, or at least more time has been spent with the grinder trying to make this smooth. And see if we can see here. I mean, I've almost sort of smoothed out the pitting in there. Not completely, there's still minor pitting in there. But over here, can you see how much deeper the pitting is in this one? It goes a lot deeper. This is a lot. And you're not going to be, obviously you can't get your fingers in here and touch my rotors, but this pitting is a lot deeper than this pitting. This is fairly smooth. It's not that coarse. This still feels very coarse to the finger. So guaranteed this rotor ate through the pads just because it was pitted more? No, maybe the slide was a little bit hung up. Maybe that caliper is on its way out. I'm not entirely sure. Time will tell. I'll continue to keep an eye on it for sure, but I think my theory holds. I think this, being as pitted as it is and as corroded as it is, causing premature pad wear on one side, is a very viable theory, at least. maybe not completely proven out, but as we can see, we've ground further on this than this, and this is still coarse, and this is much smoother. So, I don't know. What do you think? Did I prove anything? Did I prove nothing?